Hello, Jesse here. Jesse with the Humble Fungus, a full-service mushroom farm and mycology supply in Lafayette, Colorado. This is, I don't know how many videos I've done this morning, so I'll just get cut to the chase. This video is all about lion's mane, rawr, king of the jungle. Lion's mane mushrooms. So lion's mane mushrooms are both a gourmet and medicinal mushroom. They're called smart mushrooms, brain mushrooms, all sorts of things. They're really fantastic. They taste lightly of crab. They make fantastic crab cakes. They grow like a weed, and they actually help your brain regenerate or heal and create neurogenesis. So they're a pretty powerful little mushroom. So I wanted to cover lion's mane mushroom blocks. So when I'm fruiting mushrooms, as I've already covered, you've got a couple of options. You can side fruit, as I've done with this gold oyster right here. You can top fruit, or you can just do random holes cut all over. So this time I'm going to show you kind of 3 different lion's blocks at 3 different stages. So the first one I'm going to show you is the lion's mane block that I'm going to fruit. So this lion's mane block, you can't really see it through the plastic, but it's beginning to pin on top. And you can see it doesn't look fully colonized. That's because the lion's mane is very filamentous. It's very thin, very fine. It's really strong though. So this block, so I'm going to fruit this one, but I'm going to top fruit it. But let's pause right there. Lion's mane is not a particularly discriminate fruiter. It's not like kings where they like lots of exposed surface area. So that means you can basically fruit it however you want. You can cut holes, you can top fruit it, you can do basically anything you want with it. So this is a lion's mane block that we fruited. And what we did for this one is real simple. We took the knife, laid the block on its side, took a knife, cut a hole. Done. Now you can see the lion's mane just found the hole and it's just growing out. Reach in here, pop it out. This is second flush, so you can see it's been top fruited before. So the lion's mane is coming out, and it will grow out, and when it gets big and toothy and slightly brown, that's when you want to harvest it. So that's side fruiting. This is a lion's mane block that has been top fruited, and I'll show you how to do that with this block. Top fruited means basically we had it standing on its end, lion's mane grew up, and we just pulled it off the top, literally just tugged it off. So since this block has already been harvested on this side, it's going in for a second flush, meaning I want to grow another round of mushrooms off the same bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, roll that back down. So the reason why I'm doing this is that mushrooms won't fruit in this scar. This scar right here from where I harvested, it's not going to grow back there. Basically, it'll grow everywhere but there. Taped it over, made it nice and tight, so it discourages pinning, keeps the moisture nice and tight, etc. And so this block, second flush, what I'm going to do is just what I would do on a first flush, or the first time I got it. Pulled that out of the box, laid it on its side, and I'm going to take this knife, I'm going to cut a Z. Got some substrate with that, that's fine. Irritating the substrate, as I've mentioned before, actually helps the block by signaling to the fungus that that's the surface. Side fruited, I'll put it back in the fruiting chamber. That one's done. All right. So, fresh lion's mane block. What I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna top fruit this one. Yay! So, Top fruiting, I'm going to use the same method I use for kings, Pio Pino, and everything else. First things first, I'm going to get me a rubber band. Oh yeah. I'm going to pull that rubber band down to about 2 inches below the top of the substrate. This cuts off oxygen flow to the lower half of the bag, discouraging pinning and actually lowering contamination risk. Signals that the fungus, that there's a compression point here, this is exposed to the air, and therefore this is the surface. Or if it was growing in the woods, air. So now I've got this, and lion's mane happens to like a lot of oxygen. So in this case, I'm actually going to cut off both corners of the bag, and then I'm going to leave it. If you were at home, you would grab a handy dandy spray bottle and mist it on the sides of the inside of the bag every couple of weeks until you saw pins pop out, and then you would cut off the top of the bag and roll it down. In this case, I've already got pins, so now that I've done this, I'm going to put this in the fruiting chamber and let it go for a couple of days. And when I see that this entire surface is really grown out, I'm going to take and we're going to cut off the top of the bag. I'm going to roll it down, let that lion's mane grow out, harvest it, seal it, and do what I showed you earlier in the video. And that's fruiting lion's mane. Now remember, you can also just cut a hole in the side of the bag as we did here and side fruit it.